Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode of Survival Minecraft. And today we are beginning right in the middle of a pillager raid here at Fort Foxy. We're going to work on taking out this Ravager. Up there we go, and the last of the raiders here in this final raid that I've been working on. Just two raiders left. Here they are. Ooh, one of them's climbing my ladder over here. Up, one down, and one to go. And that should be victory for the raid. Yay! And a little rare Minecraft achievement sound in post because I've gotten this achievement before. I've gone around and collected all the XP and all the items, and we did pretty good. We got a whole bunch of good stuff here. And what I was specifically trying to collect today were these. I was trying to get Totems of Undying and saddles. And this is about the 7th or 8th raid that I've actually done over here because I've actually been collecting a whole bunch of them for people. And we're going to talk about what they're going to be used for in just a second. And because we've completed yet another raid, every time I do a raid over here, I put another banner up so you can see how many times that I've done pillager raids during the lifespan of Fort Foxy. For everybody who's going to be joining the world when I open this up as an SMP, I'm planning to create welcome boxes. So boxes that people can get with different assorted items that they're going to need to avoid the initial grind of having to get their very first things. And one thing that I do want to include in every box is one Totem of Undying right in the middle there. Kind of be first come first serve. When you find a good box that has a bunch of diamond tools, you could take it. And if you're one of the later joinees, maybe you get an iron one, but at least you'll get something to start with. The reason for the saddles is I did want to offer people saddles right here at spawn so that when they join the world, if they want to take a horse to get around initially, I don't know if they'd want a llama. We have those here too, but if they want to pick a horse when they first join, they'd be free to do that. There's lots of horses available, and there are saddles available here at spawn, so if they tame one, they can have a saddle and have a horse to ride around the server. So that gets us caught up on what I've been doing to get more prepared for people joining the world. We can head back over to the Plaza now to take a look at everything that I've been doing over there since the last episode as well. But first, if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and go ahead and leave a like on it for me. And if you have a comment or a question, please be sure to leave it in the comments below. And if you're one of the many people who are not yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's fast, it's free, and it helps me bring you more great content just like this. And I would really appreciate it. Since the last episode, I've done a bunch of work between the two castles to fill out the rest of this kind of game area between the two of them, and I'm very happy to say I've completed my work over here. First and foremost, as you can see, I added a whole desert and sand area with a bunch of cactuses. This area could be a lot of fun as you're running through here and chasing someone. You could always hit them and knock them into a cactus and give them a little prickly surprise there. I have expanded on the rock area right here with all the rock and the tuff and stuff like that and made this a little bigger. We've also doubled the skeleton population in here as I've caught a few more of these guys. These guys are out of the boat now, and we happen to have this guy over here. That's Bruno, though we don't talk about Bruno. I actually felt like I wanted something on the sides of these scoreboards, so I've actually expanded the grandstands for each side to add these kind of like extra wings on them. So this is kind of additional seating for maybe team members who aren't participating or people who are waiting a turn. They could sit here and spectate. I did continue to expand the lava and the blackstone area right here, and I did add some of my signature dead trees that I had over by the volcano. And yes, I know, there's no lava. There's still no lava in here, but I will before this goes live as an SMP. I will have all of this replaced with lava, I swear. One thing that I've added at the site, ow, darn it, is this kind of like starting spawn area where people could come in, they can drop their items, and these would be beds where they would set their respawn point. If somebody happens to die, they will respawn out here on this platform, and this could be also a place where I could have maybe uniforms. If teens were going to have colored like leather uniforms, I can store those here. There's one here to the side of Castle Crimson. I have another on the side of Castle Warped as well. One other major major feature right here is I did create a little bit of a square right here, and I did put a statue right in front of the main grandstand. I'm kind of wondering if having this end crystal here isn't going to end up being a big mistake. I'm really going to put a question mark on how long is it going to be until that particular end crystal gets destroyed and we have to rebuild the statue. Here is a little bit of what underneath Castle Warp looks like. We have a little bit of a dripstone feature. I did some kind of like windows down here. We've got this little window feature here, and then in this room right here I did kind of an amethyst growing crystal room right there, and this kind of detail. I added both here and under Castle Crimson trees inside, which I really liked. It breaks up the monotony of all the gray with this green and having some trees in here, which I like. And one other room I added here under Castle Warped was this room, which I really like. I love this. I think this looks so cool. And this room has a bonus added feature. If you go through this door right here, you actually come out to a set of caves. And I was thinking, because I had all this room under the castle area, I could actually have kind of a connection between the two castles underground as well. I even started to decorate a little bit. Right here is a little bit of a lush cave portion down here. We have a whole dripstone cave area too, which is pretty neat. We have another little lush area here and an awkward kind of bridge. And I made this bridge specifically awkward right here and weird because I wanted this to be a little bit of a difficult area to traverse, and it's, you know, one lane here only. And then we have one final area here with a bunch of spider webs, which could also be very interesting. You don't want to get caught up in those. And finally, this comes over to this doorway. This is a room down here that I added, which connects Castle Crimson to the tunnels leading over to Castle Warped. Now, these caves also have a fun little surprise that I can invoke, because right over here, there happens to be an exit for something. While I was lighting up all the caves down here under the castle area, I happened to come across a zombie spawner. So a little bit of tunneling work to bring a bubble vader over here, and I can actually turn this light off and I can start generating zombies in here. So this could be a very interesting little surprise for people to come running through here, and oh boy, there could be a bunch of zombies starting to fall from the ceiling, which could be pretty fun. I thought of another game that we can add underneath the castles here and also powered by redstone, and that is a game called Prison Break. Similar to how I built the survival lava maze, this iron door is controlled by this barrel, and if you put a key inside the barrel, it unlocks the door and it opens it. To play, members of the opposing team would actually come over and set their respawn point in this prison room so that if they die in the game of play, they would respawn in this room. The door is locked by default, so if team members die, they would respawn in the room and be trapped. They would need other team members to search the castle grounds to find the key to let them escape. I was actually able to tap into the same redstone system that I used to reset the capture the flag chest, so flipping this switch right here would enable me to open and close the doors from the grandstand right here. That way we could open the doors, allow people to set their respawn point, leave, close the doors, and then the game can begin. So that's 3 different games that can be played at these castles using all the same redstone, which is pretty cool. There was one more commission from the Sword Self MC that I had to add to the world, and that is this one right here. These special towers that he put together for me, and I really love the way that these came out. I love the transition and the gradient that he created, and the wonderful copper gradient up at the top. They look fantastic. And now that the construction of the castle gaming area is complete, it's now time for us to turn our attention back around and return to the plaza, because we have a lot of work to be doing in here today to finish everything up. One of the biggest things that we have outstanding here in the plaza for this season is the build that's going into the center of the plaza, and that's what I have been preparing also since the last episode. I really can't wait for this build to be in here because, like I said, it's going to tie everything together in this area. It's going to fit perfectly in this center area, and it is going to be probably the tallest build that I've ever made in Minecraft. I've been saying since I built the plaza in episode 4, I didn't really have any major ideas in here, and thinking about getting ready for this episode, I actually did come up with ideas for each of the 4 areas that are still blank. So by the end of today's episode, they're all going to be filled in with some very, very cool stuff. So, what do you say, everybody? Do you think for one last time we're ready to jump into another build mode and get this going? I'm ready. I think I'm ready and excited. It's time to build this center spire. Here we go into time lapse number 1. Let's put together the build that's going to finish this plaza off. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And the Plaza's Central Spire Tower building is complete. And I think you probably see I went with a very similar theme to what the Plaza already has in terms of like a color and build scheme. This is definitely the tallest build that I've ever done in Minecraft, because I believe the top up there, the peak of this is somewhere up about 204 or 205 blocks. As you can see, there's a little bit of a twist at the top. I wanted to do some kind of like spiral or twist or something that gave the feeling of turning at the very top. And for the main building, I wanted to go with something that gave you a very grand feel as you are entering. Now, this is completely open right now because there's actually going to be a second level right here, which I didn't build in during build mode, and I'm going to add that during the detail phase. So to give you the complete picture of this build and see everything that's going to be in here, I think I should jump into the detail phase right now. So here I go. I'm going to do the details and we'll be right back. Okay, here we are, and now the details are done, and I think the tower really now comes to life a lot more. First thing you can see is I have water columns right here in these kind of support pillars. I like the blue because it's very different than anything else in the tower, and you get a little bit of motion out of that, which I like. As we enter inside, you can see that I have decorated and fitted this lower area out quite a bit, and I went with a bunch of stairways that lead up to the second floor. My initial idea was to create circular stairways, ones that kind of curve down, but as I was trying to put them together, I really didn't like how they were looking. I've tried to add some more details, some more green in here, so there's a bunch of plants. We have now added the nether portals. I was kind of going for almost like an upside down sword kind of feel, like this almost could be the hilt and this is the hand grip, and then it would kind of be going down. I've seen a number of those on the web, so that was kind of my inspiration for this. One thing that I was thinking about in here, because everything is so similar look wise, is when you come out of the portals and you're trying to figure out maybe where you want to go here in the plaza, it's kind of hard to get that direction. So what I did is each one of these doorways I customized with each area that they go out to. This one goes to the arena, so it has this similar kind of block palette from the arenas and those banners. Over here, of course, you have the volcano with a new volcano banner that I found on the web. Probably not a lot of question about where this one's going with the same color schemes and the banners as the castles. This door, of course, leading out to the build challenge court with the same kind of brick and quartz build scheme as the outside of the build challenge court, and an anvil banner to denote building. Now we can go to the ornate second floor, and here I just added an entire kind of different floor pattern here. You've got glass so you can actually see down into the first floor. Now my thought in here was to probably add more of these kind of armor stand statues to this floor as people join the world, and I get either people donating their heads or we get heads from competitions. I might start to do more armor stands, and I may do more banner work up here as well as some more green tree decoration. The next thing we can do is we can take a Bubble Vader up to the next level right here. This is the first kind of like main deck of this entire thing. You can see we still have a couple levels to go here. A little bit of trees, a little bit of decoration so far up here, nothing too crazy. But one thing that I did start to do on the main tower was I did start to do a little bit of gradient work. I might play around a little more with this, do some more darker colors fading into the gray right there. The other thing that I did here was I added the handles to what is a kind of championship cup type of structure right here. I kind of built that as kind of like something that denotes a winner's cup or a champion trophy or something like that. Coming out a little further up, we have another little bit of a landing platform up here, and this is kind of nice because you can really start to get a good view all over the place of everything right here. Coming up to the top level here, you can really get a very, very, very good bird's eye view. It may be a little hard for people who are afraid of heights, but you actually can come up here to this kind of observation platform, and you can actually see every one of the areas that surround the plaza out here. It's a very, very cool vantage point. And that's as far as you can actually go on the tower. It does go a little bit higher up there, and I did add a little bit of a lightning rod up there as well and did some more gradient work. But that is it for areas you can walk around in the tower. And so while the center spire building is now done, we can turn our attention to the other areas around the plaza. We do have these huge open areas that have nothing in them yet. And like I said, I want to start to change that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump in and we're going to start over on this side over here. And I'm going to begin detailing these areas out. So here we go. I'm going to jump into not a time lapse, but we're just going to jump. I'm going to do the detailing work in here. So let's jump in and get it done now. Alright, so I have done a little bit of the detail work so far, and let's take a look at our first area, which I have transformed. Oh, good lord. Not again. Welcome to our first area, which is the Zen Garden area. And I took some inspiration from Japanese gardens, and I saw some great examples of cherry blossoms done out there on the web. And I thought these would be a great and very, very different addition to this area. There's nothing really pink that I have done in this world so far. I tried to create a nice little area. We've got this kind of swinging bench right there. We've got a bridge going right here. We've got some different levels of water right over here. There's another kind of swing under a tree, just somewhere very, very nice that you can kind of walk through and have like a tranquil garden scene. Walking through my jungle area right here, where we come into what I'm calling the Guardian of Champions. One of my goals after we opened up the server to other people is to have people come in and compete in different kind of group coordinated events. And I was thinking that we could crown a champion of one of those events. If somebody happens to come out as the grand winner of something that we could coordinate, they can have their statue immortalized in here in one of these 4 kind of pagoda areas. I have one for each of the 4 areas around the plaza. And just for fun, we do have this other kind of grand atria type of build right here that I have right in the middle. And this is taken, many of these are taken, the examples right from Mixie23's original Imperial City build. So thank you to him for the inspiration for these areas and the templates for how I put all of these together. So that's 2 of the areas so far, and we still have 2 areas to go. So I think I'm going to jump in and we're going to fill in these areas now as well, and we're going to finish this plaza off. Okay, a little bit of time later, and we have the last areas done here in the plaza area. So let's take a quick look. We're going to walk past Mr. Orin, the ornery goat, into an open market square area right now. And following episodes, either number 4 or 5, when I asked people what they wanted to see kind of in these open plaza areas, and open marketplace was the top answer that I got. So here you go. Ask and you shall receive. And we have some really cool areas in here. We have have some food carts right here, and we have these kind of open air stalls with chests and barrels and things like that. We have a little area right here where if somebody happens to ride their horse in, we have a horse stable that they can leave their horse in. We have a large pumpkin garden and a pumpkin cart right there. And I do have some nods over to some Hermitcraft inspirations here. Some people had asked me in the Ironclad Horizon server to add in a B-dub style food cart from Hermitcraft Season 7, and I didn't do it there, but I did recreate it, a little bit of an homage to that cart right here with a butcher inside, no less. And I also am giving a tip of the hat to Scar with a version of the Swagon here as well, complete with a donkey. In addition to some additional stalls and some villagers who are working over here and some other carts and things like that, I do have some custom trees in here that I built to kind of add some to the decor and to the feel of everything. And we also have a melon farm back here, a little bit of a melon hut. We have a cart over here with some people who are hauling some ores, and we have another little cart area right here. So all in all, I really like this marketplace. I think it's really pretty cool, and this is a great opportunity for if people join in, they could actually, these areas are all pretty much open. I don't really have any thought about taking any of these stands myself, so people could easily take over either some of these stands or take over some of the barrels and chests and sell items here in the marketplace. And on the other side of this hallway from the marketplace, maybe my favorite area within here, this is kind of a little mini environment area, kind of like a mini zoo type of area, where we have a number of different kind of like areas that are not necessarily right here next to the plaza. We have a jungle environment right here, and as you can see, I've brought a parrot over, and we have this kind of like winter ice polar area right here. I kind of grabbed a skeleton horse that I found around spawn, and I put it in here for now. We also have a desert area right here, which is pretty cool. I thought it'd be kind of neat to have a little bit of a mountain area, terrain, something like that. I've got a wolf in there too. Right here in the middle, finally, we also have a little bit of an aquarium with some corals and some fish, tropical fish. I even put some puffer fish in here to make sure that nobody wants to go in and swim around in there. Whoop, Mr. Puffer is getting a little puffed up. I don't want that to happen. So the last thing that I wanted to do to fill all of this out and complete this area was I'm going to go real quick and try to grab what animals I can to fill out some of these areas, and then we're going to come back and we're going to wrap everything up. Okay, so I have done a little more work gathering a few more animals for these different areas right here. Inside the jungle, I did go out and get myself a few more parrots, so I have a few more guys in here. There we go. Everybody's inside this area. I also found in a jungle not far from here, I found ocelots, which is very, very cool, so I was able to get a couple of those. There's 3 of them in there, and just like a regular zoo, you know, it's always hard, like, where are the animals? Are they in there? Are they hiding? Oh, there's another one right there. They're kind of shy. The one thing that I haven't actually found in the world yet that I do want to add in here is pandas. So I am going to be making a quest after I'm done here to go out into the world and find a couple pandas and put them in here as well. And I also have to go out and do some more exploring to find some polar bears that I could bring in here. Right now, it's still just our lone skeleton horse in here. I've had much better luck with the desert area, and I've added a bunch of bunnies that I found over near my drowned trident farm, and I bred mules in here. You can get mules by breeding donkeys and horses together, so I did just that. I've got both of those over in the marketplace, so I said, hey, why not? Let's add some mules into the desert areas. Into this Tiaga area right here, we've got goats, we've got llamas, and there were some wolves walking around in there before, but they were killing the llamas, so unfortunately I had to get rid of those, and I replaced them with foxes. I bred a bunch of more foxes over from my tutor house over there, so these guys are living in here as well. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This season has been a ton of work, but I gotta tell you, it's been so much fun. It's so rewarding to see everything come together, and all of the ideas and plans that I put together to start this season are now all finished. Everything is here, it's all together, it's done, and I'm so happy and excited. If you've been following along the journey here for all of season 2, I want to thank you very, very, very much for your support and following along. I hope that you were entertained. I hope that you got something out out of this series. Maybe you learned something, or maybe even better, you got some inspiration and you got some ideas out of this to go build some great stuff in Minecraft yourself. If so, please let me know in the comments. If something has inspired you to build in your world or do something like this, definitely let me go. I would love to know that what I've been doing here helped you get inspired to do something yourself. I want to give another shout out and thank you to Reddit user Mixu23 for posting his Imperial City build online. That build was the inspiration for this plaza and gave me a huge jumping off point to begin all of this building. So a big thank you to Mixu23 for sharing his work and inspiring all of this. From here, the next step is the world is going to get posted online very soon, and some friends of mine who I've invited in will be able to come in and play and explore and maybe even build some great builds themselves. We'll have to see. I'm hopeful to make some additional videos in the world as we coordinate some events to use some of the areas that we put together for collaborative events like the Build Challenge Court over here, the PvP Arena, the Lava Mazes, and of course the Castle minigame area. So thank you very much for following along this season. Thank you for coming on the Minecraft survival journey with me. If you have any ideas or thoughts or things you'd like to see on the channel, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. In the meantime, I hope everybody is safe. I hope you are well. Have a great summer. Enjoy yourself. Play some great Minecraft. Build some cool things. Share it online. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Take care and have a great day, everybody.